Kia ora, everyone, and welcome to the Stromcast Down Under. I am here with Liam and myself. We are here to just introduce everyone to the Liam to the Strom world. So maybe I'll just pass over to you, Liam, and maybe get a bit of a background on you, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, no worries. Kia ora, everyone. My name's Liam Messam. Recently retired professional rugby player. So it's been 22 years. I've been playing professional rugby for obviously the All Blacks, Maori All Blacks, the Chiefs, and Waikato. So based here in Kirikiriroa, here in Hamilton. And yeah, just doing a bit of boxing on the side at the moment just to keep fit and healthy.
Awesome. So yeah, pleasure again. Like we talked offline, but it's a pleasure to have you on here. Also awesome to have you part of the Strom team. But maybe what we'll get started with is kind of just a background on grassroots for you. What kind of got you into the sport of rugby? And I know a lot of history. I grew up watching you play. I know you played for sevens and all that, but kind of what got you into rugby and into where you are today. 22 years career is a long career, but a good career as well.
Yeah, no, definitely a long career. I'm very grateful for all the values and lessons I learnt when I was a young fella. But what got me into rugby, I was actually playing football and cricket growing up. My little brother used to play a lot of sports outdoors. We weren't really allowed inside, so we made the most of it outside, and we just played sports. And that was my sort of two first passions. And then my mate, when was it? About 12 years old, 11 years old, brought me to his club rugby training in, about to say Hamilton Maris, did not say that, at Maris St. Michael's down in Rotorua. So he took me along there, and the rest is history, really, and just got into rugby. Went to Rotorua Boys High, which is a big rugby school, and just had opportunities with scouts and whatnot watching me. And Titch, I was lucky enough that I caught Titch's eye, and I was caught him Titch's eye when I was 16, I think he was 7. So from there, that's where it sort of kicked off.
Was that kind of your first transition into like the professional world was through sevens, and was it always your goal to get into sevens, or were you like, nah, 15 aside is my thing and I want to be there, or how was that for you?
Nah, to be honest, I just wanted to play rugby. I'm not sure what the young fellas do these days, but back then I was playing for my high school, playing senior A rugby, playing rugby league on Sunday. So I was just playing, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday as much as I could. And I was probably a little bit bigger than I am now, actually, when I was a school kid. So, so I was a big boy. I said I used to have a pie and Coke for breakfast every day. $2 at the dairy.
We all did. That was the after game snack as well. You go have a big pie and then
that was pretty much my diet. So I just got from there, and just some club teams took me along to some sevens tournaments, and ended up playing sevens. And I didn't want to be a sevens or 15s player. I just was playing rugby and just enjoying it and loving it. So just obviously caught the eye of the right people.
Yeah. What for you, like in sevens, like I know some of your highlights. Obviously, you've Commonwealth gold and won some big achievements. Like, what was the highlight for you in that sevens career? Was it that moment, or was there putting on the jersey for New Zealand? Like, what was that moment for you? Did you feel?
Oh, yeah, I reckon I've been lucky enough to go to a couple of Commonwealth Games and Olympic Games with the sevens, but I think probably my first ever Wellington sevens when it was at its prime. 2003. That's pretty special. We get to go down there for the weekend. I was like 18 years old at the time. I was just like, what the hell is this? So that was pretty cool.
It's a shame it's not. I remember those days when it was huge. The Wellington sevens is massive, and I feel like there's been a bit of a shift in rugby over the years, and maybe we can get into that a bit later. But like this, I guess this Sunday has kind of reignited a lot of people with passion for rugby. But that's cool, man. That's probably not what I guess I expected. Like I think from me, like the first time you put the jet or that gold. What did that mean to you though when you won that gold medal in the first Commonwealths that you guys did?
It was the first time actually that year. So long ago now, I can't remember what year it was, but the this is the first time Titch went away from picking Super Rugby players and All Black players.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of pressure on us. Our team was quite young. Our squad was real young. And we come up against Australia in the semi-finals, and they had all Wallabies and Super Rugby players. They had legends playing for them, and we ended up tipping them over. And that sort of just gave us the confidence for the final and to win it. So to win it as sort of like underdogs or people not really thinking we could get that far with the team that we had was pretty special.
Cool. That's cool. Like I think what's interesting is obviously your career has been so long. You went overseas as well, past All Blacks, and you've done a lot. But hearing, I guess, your foundation, what you'll say is sevens, and then transition. I believe it was 2008 was the first time you put on a All Black jersey. Is that, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah. So I debuted for the All Blacks, and as you said about the New Zealand Sevens, that foundation. What I'm really grateful for New Zealand Sevens was the value of hard work, what hard work really meant, and what it was. And I learned it. I was lucky enough to learn it. Maybe not lucky enough, but I was, influenced when I was 16, 17 to see what hard work and work ethic really was in that environment. So that just really gave me a great foundation for my career.
Because look, we're both Maori, and it's part of our culture, I guess. But do you feel like the heritage and your bloodline and everything is kind of influenced you to be that way, and how you behave through your career and rugby sevens and then into the All Blacks, and would that be a driver as to why you are who you are?
Yeah, 100%. It's a big driver of who I am, but it goes a bit deeper and a bit thing for me because I was actually adopted when I was a child.
Yeah.
So mum and dad adopted 5 of us, had 3 of their own, so we've got a big family of 8. Mum and dad are European descent, so they got Pākehā blood in them. And when you see our family, you're just like, I remember introducing my brothers to Eric Rush at the Wellington Sevens that same year, actually. And he sort of like looked at us sideways and just like, because my brothers are white, and he couldn't click it. So they're just like, what the hell's going on here? Is this a practical joke or something? So, but they definitely, their upbringing and the family values that they brought into us is definitely the person I am today because of them.
Yeah, I think you can see, like, especially coming from their side, like adopting is a big deal, and taking in, 5 that side is huge. So you can see the value in like what that means in love, and
well, it taught me a sense of belonging.
Yeah,
and like I guess that's what I sort of, one of my strengths as a leader is bringing people together and having that sense of belonging and being part of a team or a family. And again, I got to learn that when I was a baby because I'm not their blood. I got no, physical thing, attraction or whatnot it is. But for some reason, some way, mum and dad just knew how to make us all feel like we're a Messam and we're part of the family, and you have that sense of belonging, and it just turns you into the person that you are now.
That's awesome, man. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's family is very close to me as well. My mum's Pākehā as well, but my old man's Maori, obviously. So sometimes there's a little eyebrows when they see her. She's like 5 foot and white, and you're like, but no, I get that completely, man. But when you look through, I know, like in your career, one of the big things you wanted to do was play for Waikato and play for the Chiefs and all that. When you finally kind of transitioned sort of out of sevens and started getting into 15s, how did that process work for you? Like, were you called upon, where they reached for you, or did you, trial out and have to get into that team yourself? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, well, actually, Eric Rush and Gordon Titchens at the time, I think it was like 2004 or 5, 2004 maybe. I had been told that I had to go play 15s for New Zealand under 21s or something. Yeah. And that meant I missed the rest of the World Series, and I didn't want to go. I was like, I just love sevens, and I thought I was a sevens player and just wanted to be in that environment. But for Rushy and Gordon Titchens, their whole thing is that they wanted to make All Blacks. That was their role, I guess. So they sort of volunteered me to go play at 15s. And that's how I sort of got back into 15s. And I was always playing in between 7s and 15s with NPC for Waikato and whatnot. But that was the time and moment where I had to sort of say, okay, time for me to knuckle down and get serious about 15s and still have sevens in the background. I could still go back, play tournaments if I want to, but that moment I actually, had to bite down and build myself as a 15s player.
And through like NBC, I kind of like reflecting on like accomplishments when I do these chats with people and talk through many different people. And what would you say your biggest accomplishment in NPC was?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, if I'm honest, the biggest achievement, and this is probably for my whole rugby career, actually, is the positive influence that I've had on the groups that I've been in.
Yeah,
It's cool to win championships and Ranfurly Shields and play 100 games for Waikato or whatever it is for the Chiefs. But I think just having that real positive impact that I've had on the teams that I've been in and within our community, I'm really proud to come from this area. So I think that's probably my biggest accomplishment in my sporting.
I think that's a very humble but it's a truthful one as well. Like so a lot of times people are quick to say, "Oh, it was the gold medal, it was the World Cup," and you've done a lot. Like you look at your track record, you can say, "Oh, yeah, no, he's been involved in a lot." But for you to say that, it's a testament of your character, which is good to see. How was captaining though? How was that for you? Because you come across as a leader to me naturally. Uh, was that an easy transition for you to move into like a captain role, or?
Oh, it was a bit of a journey. Obviously, at high school, I was, done a lot of captaining and being a leader at high school. I was a school prefect. Don't know how, but I was a school prefect. They gave me a school prefect badge, and I was like,
I was the same, and I was like, I was the worst student. I don't know how I got this, but I'm here.
I'll take it. I'll take it, prefect.
Yeah.
And then again, the New Zealand Sevens scene. Like, I was 20 years old, and Titch asked me to captain the All Black Sevens, and I was just like, a bit stunned because there's legends on the team that I had to be, their captain or their leader, and so it was a real journey. Again, I'm really lucky that I got to experience it at a real young age and have really good leaders around me. So you pretty much, you just learn from them, and they role model to you how to be a leader, and you just find your way as the career goes on or as the years go on. You find your way and what you're good at, and what really helped me in 2012. The Chiefs had co-captains for the first time.
Okay,
So we had myself and Craig Clark, and me and Craig Clark are total opposites. But when we captained together, it's just for some reason it really, really worked. And his strengths were my weaknesses, and my strengths were his weaknesses. So it just really tied in, and I learned a lot about my leadership style through Craig and being in that sort of role. But it's it definitely helped. And again, I took that responsibility pretty early on in my career, and just this is my role. So just get comfortable in it. It is what it is. So
because I remember, although it's 11 years ago, I do remember that season and the winning season those years where you were kind of co-captaining. Do you feel like that was a big impact as to why there was maybe a shift in like how the team performed together, and was the ability to kind of lean on each other and have that dynamic of there's a point of difference between the two of us, and we're able to cover, I guess, all areas as being captains? Do you feel like that helped a lot, or?
Yeah, 100%. That helped a lot. But I think we're also really blessed that year. Those couple of years anyway, we've done really well. Is that we had myself and Craig as captains, but our leadership group around us, there was 6 or 7 of the boys that the leaders as well that could have been captains in their own right. But having that group of guys to lead to what we had, and have Dave Rennie, Wayne Smith, guys like that to lead the ship, just made our jobs a lot easier. And all we really had to do was try and get everyone to buy in, which was pretty easy, and then just perform on the field. Because again, a lot of people follow the way that you act instead of what you say. So
That makes sense, man. That makes complete sense. I think I'm interested to hear this part. When you were in the All Blacks, there was a time where, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you led the haka at one point in time. How was that moment for you? And that being involved in those international games, and
well,
obviously you. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first time they actually asked, I was pretty shocked because again, like I'm a bit old
Shared
school,
with.
you know. I'm a bit old school. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm not. I'm the youngest here. Like, there's way more older guys on this team with way more mana than I have. Like, they should, even though they're not Maori, they should, you know, have the right to.
You had Wipu back then as well. I know he had a lot of,
Yeah, and I was
a
like, these
lot of,
guys like this, and
yeah.
then I just put it down to then. I think Kevin Mialamu or something jokingly said, "Now you're the ugliest, so you got to do it." So you know, he's like, again, you're getting voluntold to do it. But it's the nervous I've ever been. So I've done, you know, haka all my life pretty much, growing
Yeah.
up in Rotorua and schools and kapa haka and whatnot. But that whole week, for some reason, I was nervous as hell and can't even remember probably the game or the anthem that the first time I led the haka because I was that nervous. I was shitting myself, but got through it without stuffing it up. So
Do you ever sit back and watch those days? Like you like replay games and watch how you were, or is that something that I know some people
nah,
like? Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm gonna have to though, way, and just to put my kids into their place. You know, I was like, boys, Dad was the
How old are
man.
you?
Dad was the man.
How old are your kids now?
The 13 and 8. So, like, obviously, with
Oh,
the Rugby
yeah,
World Cup going on at the moment, like, it's a big thing here in New
yeah,
Zealand, and like everyone talking about it. And my kids come home and talk about the rugby, and my oldest sort of understands. Like, he knew that Dad played, but my youngest didn't really get to see me in my heyday. A lot of people didn't really get to see me. You know, we didn't have social media back then, and. I'm trying to tell my son, I'm like, bro, I used to be fast as. It's because I continue to play and I look all old and slow now. But I was like,
yeah,
oh, 20 years ago, I would smoke you.
yeah. But you make it up with experience and skill these days.
Yeah, so
um, no, that's yeah. The reason why I asked is some people don't like reviewing tape and seeing them on screen. It's like a bit weird. Like I wanted to watch that, but it's good to hear that you kind of want to show your kids through those reasons. Um, when you come up to like the tail end of, well, I guess your New Zealand international career, and you did the World Cup in 2015. Um, was that kind of was that a good, not a send off moment, but was that a moment for you going, yeah, I've ticked most of my boxes in New Zealand of what I can achieve, or did you look at it that way, or
um oh yes and no. Like I sort of saw 2015 as I guess a great way to finish my All Black career. But it was the future, I guess, that I was looking forward to. Like
yeah,
people like to say they go overseas for the culture and whatnot,
yeah,
which is true. But end of the day, you know, you're trying to financially look after yourself and your family. So I had a great opportunity to do that for after the Rugby World Cup. I'm not sure if I would have had that opportunity again if I stayed in New Zealand to try and keep that All Black dream alive. And yeah, I'm not sure if I could continue another Rugby World Cup cycle, but yeah, I obviously made the decision to go overseas and look after
yeah,
myself and family financially. So
yeah. Well, it's competitive, right? Because I've watched interviews of you and how you've obviously you've had gaps where you weren't playing as an All Black and then fought your way back to becoming an All Black. It's kind of good to hear that you're like sometimes you acknowledge that look, it's tough to get back there. So can I do that for another 4 years, like and do another World Cup and maybe we'll touch on that time, like because when you first became an All Black, when was the next time you picked up the jersey in between, and like what did you set upon yourself to get back there?
yeah, so 2008 was my debut, and then I played in 2009 again, but I played against the French, and I was absolutely trash. Like I probably the worst game I've ever played in my life,
Yeah,
in an All Black jersey or probably in any jersey. Um, and I remember that clearly that game because for some reason I just got thrown under the bus. Probably because of the way I played, but it just went all over the media. Messam's fault. Messam done this, and that, and the coaches
yeah,
just ripped me a new one. And that memory, that scar, really was real deep for me. And I didn't play again after that game till the end of year two, I think it was, so maybe a whole year.
yeah,
But between 2008 and 2011, 12, I
yeah,
played 5 or 6 games for the All
yeah,
Blacks. And it wasn't from 2012 to 2015 where I notched up like 40 games in a row or something. So there's a big difference in mindset in those two sort of different blocks of my All Black career.
Was it a mindset on like purpose, or like did that change like your drive behind it, or what was that mindset shift?
The mindset shift was more. There was a few things. Like one was understanding the game a bit better, understanding my role as a blindside,
Yeah,
and also the mindset of like when I first was an All Black in the first years, I was so scared of making mistakes. I was like on eggshells. I didn't want to, trust my skill, trust my ability, have a go, just because I was so scared of doing the wrong thing and getting told off, or just not getting picked again. And then 2012, literally, I was playing the best rugby probably of my career, and I missed out on the national All Black squad. And they had 3 or 4 injuries in the loose forwards, and I was the last one left in New Zealand at the time,
yeah,
against the Irish actually out here in Hamilton. And they called me back in, and my whole mindset when I went in there was just like, man, there's no pressure on me. Just stuff it. Just go hard, swing for the fences, and if you swing out, you swing out. If not, make the most of it. So that's what happened, and I played pretty good, and ended up playing another 30-odd tests in a row after that.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy to see like his maturity and like time. Sometimes time and those like not dark moments, but moments where you go, there's doubt. It can either make or break you. You got one way to go, and either left or right. Actually, the only kind of jersey we didn't really talk about, which probably I would say might mean the most to you, would be the Maori All Blacks. Um, I was playing in that team because there's a lot of pride coming into, I guess, the Maori All Blacks, and yeah,
Yeah, that jersey in that team is so special. It's weird because rugby's the last thing on the list in that team.
yeah,
It's all about culture and who we are and tikanga and learning all the Māori ways. And because a lot of the players in that team never get to experience that sort of lifestyle or have that upbringing.
yeah,
So the first thing is it's easy to connect because we all got the same blood. Our DNA runs to each other, so that gels us straight away. And the coaching staff and management staff do a really good job in doing that. And you're just learning waiata. You're eating boil up, eating bloody
yeah,
everything you could think of. That's not good for a high professional performance athlete,
yeah,
but fried bread, steamed pudding, but it hits the soul. And so when we get out there on the game on Saturday, like, we're just playing this style of rugby that people call it the Maori flair, but it's just us going out there having fun and expressing ourselves. And, people forget that we come from a line of warriors too, so we love the hard battle, physical stuff as well. So, that team is so awesome. You just go in there and you can just relax and not not have the stresses of being in a hardcore Super Rugby campaign or an All Black campaign. So it's just a really great way for us as Māori to connect and express ourselves on the football field.
yeah. I see what, yeah, I get what you mean as well. Like it's me being up in Auckland, my marae is down in Tauhei, by Morrinsville. So whenever I travel down there, it's different, right? You,
Yeah.
you step on the land, and you can feel it, and you go, it's and I think I guess my question for you would be, do you feel like times that you wish some of that culture that you felt in the Maori All Blacks was spread more throughout New Zealand, and more people could see like what it means to be Maori in New Zealand and how we treat our culture? Like, do you feel like it sometimes gets a bit lost?
Um, Yeah, it's hard to say because I can only really speak about the environments that I've been in. And the
Yeah,
environments that I've been in, and they've been really strong, is that we've connected to the land and to our people. We have those Māori values, and even here at the Chiefs, while we've been so strong, is that that's one thing that we really connect to. Our
yeah,
people, our land, where we come from, taking pride in that. And same with the All Blacks. The All Blacks are exactly the same now. There's a big Māori influence within that group. So it definitely is a great way to be in an environment. So for me, it's an awesome thing to have, but it's
yeah.
also pretty much the only thing that I sort of know and
You see, yeah,
and seeing it and being pretty successful in those environments.
yeah. I think us up in where we kind of get it gets lost a little bit, which is unfortunate. But if you're passionate behind it,
Yeah,
you'll make it come through, right?
yeah.
Um, Now, when you wrap up your kind of career, and you head overseas, and obviously I know you travelled back because of COVID and all that stuff had happened and the world kind of stopped. How was it coming back to New Zealand? Like, how was that for you? Like shifting back and going, oh, I've been overseas for a bit, now I'm back. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a slow start. I think when I first got back, it was obviously I was locked away in lockdown over there in France. But when I got back, it took a while to get used to the New Zealand life again. I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
no, it was great to get back, and it was a great way to sort of wind down my career here in Waikato, like playing the last 3 or 4 years. But home is home. Like you said, when you come down back to your marae, you just feel it. So
yeah.
it's always good to come home. And I've been lucky enough the last couple of years to travel around the Motu with my beautiful fiance to really have a look at what New Zealand has to offer. And man, we are so lucky to live in a country that we live in. Like, yeah, we have
Yes,
our
you're right.
problems, and we're probably not in the best spot right now, but just land wise and the views, and man, that's just like we just got back from Lake Tikapo and Mount
Oh,
Cook,
nice.
and the whole way I was driving, I was just like, what the hell? Like, just couldn't believe it.
It's
So
crazy, man. Yeah.
that's crazy.
'Cause my partner, her family lives down in Palmerston North, so we drive down, and
Yeah,
it's like an hour drive, and you see everything. Like, man, this is in our backyard, but you don't explore it. You're like, I don't go out and go to the mountains and see
yeah,
the forest trails and things like this, but it's literally right there. I think we take it for advantage. I don't think anywhere else you kind of step out and can go in your backyard and go, yeah, cool. There's a trail that I can go to, and there's history behind this trail
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's So now maybe we take it to today. Uh, you're sort of doing what I grew up doing, which I did martial arts for
Oh,
13,
awesome.
14 years. Long time, loved doing it. What got you into boxing? I know you did a few charity events. So one of them was I thought there was a lot of meaning behind one which you did a few years ago. But what got you to lace up the gloves and kind of have this second life, I guess?
Second life. It's probably not a good second life to have, but now to be in all honesty, it was my old man that got me into boxing. So I remember sitting down next to Dad, watching Friday night fights on
Yep.
what's it? ESPN? I don't even know if it was ESPN back then, but might have been Channel One back in the night
Something
time.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I used to sit down just as a young fella and watch the boxing with Dad, watching Friday night fights, and I always used to love that night because we used to have lolly night as well. So we got
Oh
like
yeah.
two little lollies at the same time. Not like now, kids can just go to the shop and get what they want. But yeah, so we had a lolly night and we got to sit down and watch boxing with Dad, and that's where my passion for boxing came from.
Yeah.
And I think I was about 12 and I went to my first boxing gym and done my first sparring. Got my nose just went splatter,
Yeah.
and I loved it. And I was like, that's weird. That I loved actually getting punched in the face, and done a little bit of training when I was a kid. Obviously, done a lot of boxing training as a rugby player, just to change up my trainings and stay fit and whatnot. And then the opportunity came to have a fight on the first fight for life when they came back. And I just jumped at it. And I look back at that fight and I'm just like, what the hell is that? That's terrible. It's just straight brawling, straight street strapping. I'm just like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, but I'm just looking at it now and just going, oh. But
Also, you've improved a lot. That's cool. Was there any kind of boxer that you looked up to that you like? Man, I liked watching his fights, or
it's hard to
even
beat.
even
Yeah, hard to
yeah.
beat David Tua, bro. Like growing up watching David Tua, I remember watching him fight Lennox Lewis and watched all his fights, bro. And Samoan Kiwi boy, you're just like,
Yeah.
one day.
He he's an interesting one. His boys actually went to my college, so
Oh,
we're all
awesome.
within the same years. And he would pull up, and he was. I think this was when he was fighting Shane. He had his comeback, so he was big, and he would pull up in a little mini, and you'd like look at him, and you're like, what? What is this guy? And it was an old school mini as well. This was one of these, and you're like, oh, it's Tua, and he's this 140 kilo man just popping out of this bloody mini. But no, yeah, I was a big Tyson fan and uh, Tua, and then as I got older, I actually enjoyed like rewatching Mayweather and like the skill and
Yeah,
seeing. and you learn to appreciate it when you go, geez, that's insane how this person can do it. Is there anyone today that you watch, like study tape from or try and learn from? And
Yeah, bro. Like, well, Mayweather was one. I used to hate the prick just because he was so mouthy
yeah,
and whatnot. But if you actually just take a moment, sit back and watch and look what you know what you're looking for, you're just like, man, he's the greatest of all time. Like, he's unbelievable. Even though he's got that mouth on him, he's just unbelievable. And that's what I loved about my boxing journey too. Like I said, go back to my first fight. It's just a pretty much street scrap. Just like
yeah,
the old windmills going around, and just learning about boxing and the art of boxing and the science of boxing. It's that's what really keeps me going in the sport, because I keep learning new things every day about it, and I'm just loving that sort of chess game of boxing. So I look at all boxers now, and I've always got mad respect for anyone that gets into the ring, but those high performant boxers, you see them, Lomachenko, even though he's small. Tyson Fury, for a big man, he can move and dance, and
it's crazy.
and that's the problem as being a heavyweight, because you're a heavyweight, but you think you can dance around like Lomachenko and Manny Pacquiao, but you look at someone like Tyson Fury, and you're just like, whoa, that guy's awesome. So
I look at him and go, geez, he's a big man like that's not supposed to be able to do that.
yeah, exactly.
But he can. I know you're probably are you mid training camp now? Are you
Yeah,
sort of
halfway. What are we now? I think we're like 4 weeks up. So
4 weeks
more
up?
weeks of hard more training, and then.
How do you feel the point you're at now in comparison to previous?
Well, you've done martial arts before, bro, and fight camps. When you get to this stage of fight camp, you're just like, you're on the hurt locker, you're on the grind. You're not thinking of much. You're just putting your head down and busting your ass, because there's one thing that I've learned about boxing is it's not a game. You don't mess around with it. You got to put in the work and the effort, because it's a dangerous sport. So yeah, I'm just in that moment where I'm just in the hurt locker, bro. Just a lot of pre-workout, a lot of recovery drinks, bro, and sleep, and then that's me. Train, sleep, train.
To go to pre-workout at the moment? What are you?
I think the boys gave me Stimax.
Stimumax, yeah.
And to be fair, it's probably, I know they say take one scoop, but I've doubled up a couple of times.
Don't blame me, man. Don't blame me. We could talk on offline a bit of endurance and what can help you as well. I do bodybuilding, so I'm a little bit, yeah, out of the. Yeah, it's not fun.
Bro, I tried. I didn't try to be a bodybuilder, but I tried to eat like a bodybuilder. Might have been the start of this year, actually. And I lasted for 2 weeks. Like, I love rice, but I got sick of rice after like day 3. I was just like, that's a lot of rice and chicken. And I was just like, can't do it. Sorry, guys.
I started 10 years ago now. And I'm like, oh, geez, I can't believe I'm still doing it. But yeah, you just get kind of stuck into it. Now we kind of segue to Strom and Stimumax, as you mentioned. How did that relationship start?
Well,
Obviously with Tom.
actually, talking about pre-workout, I was going to the gym because the store is right next door to Les Mills. It used to be called Cave. And I forgot my pre-workout at home. I was like, oh, damn. So I went in to go get a pre-workout and met Tom and Sean there. And then they just blew my mind just with the knowledge and their wisdom on supplements. Like, I've been a professional athlete for 20 years by now. And, I just know you take pre-workout, caffeine before your gym, take a protein shake after, and that was it. And then they're like, nah, man, you don't even know anything. And I was like, far away. So I literally went there every day and just sat there down and listened to the boys and just asked questions. And I was just like, what? So you're telling me if I do this? And then I was just amazed by it. And then just from there, we had a real great relationship and gone from now.
No, that's awesome. That stuff, like I say to Tom all the time, it's so undervalued what he gives to his customers, because you don't see it anywhere. And I messaged him the other day and I said, man, I'm flat out at work. I'm not sleeping. I'm really struggling. He goes, all right, we're going to get you on this and this, and give it a go, see how you go. Sends it my way. I'm like, nowhere else you're gonna have that interaction, right? And you met him a couple of years ago now, was that?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yes, walked into the shop and pretty much the furniture there now.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And now you're part of the team. How does that feel for you? They reached out and said, "Oh, we'll
Yeah,
make you part of the."
it's awesome. I think they're two great men and got really great values, and I connect really well with them. And like you said, that Tom, you can feel his presence and his charisma with other people, and you're just like his values and his beliefs are like they tie in with mine. And I've been lucky enough now for me and Tom, we've been trying a few things too. And like Tom's helping with like business things and that, and trying to learn new something different, and hopefully watch this space. We'll see what happens.
See what happens, eh? Well, look, I won't hold you up too much longer, man. I will ask you what's next for you post this boxing fight. Like, is there anything? I know you said watch the space, but is there anything people should look out for? Anything that they should be aware of, or
Sporting wise, you won't be seeing me running on a footy field anymore. um, Unless it's a little local club game, maybe. But boxing, yeah, I just do it for fun. But other than that, yeah, full-time job next year, 9 to 5.
full time job, eh?
Full-time job, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be
I'll
living
watch.
the real world now, bro.
Yeah, I'll watch the space. Eh? I'll watch the space. Eh?
I want to
Um,
figure out because I've got like I don't know what it is, but I just love training and training real hard, and I'll wreck myself every time, and that's obviously for a purpose because I've got a fight or had a game coming up. So
yeah.
with not having that anymore, I'm wondering if I'll still go into the gym and wreck myself. Probably will.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I shrink. I get a little smaller.
It becomes part of you, man. Like I think once you have it, it's there, and you just find different outlets, and yours is now boxing, and maybe something else down the line. Um, Look, man, I'll pass over to you. Anything else you want to kind of cover? Any messages you want to put out there, or anything from your side that you want to say?
Nah, not really. I think just like especially with like the supplement side of things, just like getting the that's with anything though, getting the knowledge and asking questions about it has like really helped me have a better understanding and how I can get the best out of my body. So they're really grateful for the boys down here in Hamilton with the Strom boys. So the more you can get more knowledge about it and ask questions, then you're only going to benefit yourself. So,
Well, yeah, look, we appreciate you, and that's why we do this now, and that's why they've got me kind of coming out and interviewing people and different people. It's always good to get perspective, but look, man, it's been a pleasure for me. I don't want to hold up too much of your time today. I
no
think
worries, bro.
we've got a nice story of you, but I'll end the recording now, and then we can say our goodbyes, bro.
Awesome.